Hello? Is this working? Hello? No. Wait, I think it might be. Hello? If this is working, we'll see. My name is Laura, and I'm an artist who likes to color and paint and draw and do all kinds of stuff. This is an adult coloring channel, and I think we are live, but I'm not sure. Yay! Oh, yay! Hello, Kenny and Leslie. Oh my goodness, what a morning. So we are working in Villain Son by Tomislav Tomic. And what a great fellow. He has drawn this for us to color. Hi Starbuck. Hello. Alright, hello everybody. We've got it working. Nothing like a little technical difficulty to spice up your morning. Okay, good to see that we are doing alright. Let me just adjust the image a little bit. I had to reset everything. See, that's a little better. Okay, so we were working on this page and we are now doing the shading and the color pencil over the marker, basically. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right on in and get going. Let's see here. I don't remember which colors we were using, but I'm going to use, let's see which color. Let's see who's here. Hi, Candy. Where's Lena? Let's see who else is here. Kenny. Starbuck. Hello, Kelly. Hi, Rhea. Hello, welcome. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having a great morning and no technical difficulties on your end. Hopefully this works well. Hi, Abby. Little Miss Abby just finished her breakfast a little bit ago, so she is a little bit rambunctious, I'll put it that way. What are you doing now? Alright, so I think we'll start off. We're going to be working on the foreground more. Let's start off with 945. This is Sienna Brown. And this is a color that comes in the basic set of 12. So one of the many main Prismacolor colors. Now I'm starting, let's zoom in a little actually. Let's see here if I can get a little closer. Yeah, there we go. You hid in your art room? Oh, why, Starbuck? Holiday company. Oh. Hi, Jody. Hello, welcome. Good morning, everybody. Me too, Jody. Me too. Technical difficulties. The spice of life. So we put down a basic idea of where we want those shadows to go. So now I'm going to go over everything we've done and just start to really shade. And I'm starting in the dark area of the wing. We can darken this up even more later, but we're just gonna start layering. And you guys know I take my time with my pencils and just layer and layer and layer. So we might be spending some time with this guy, but oh, hello, Abby. Hi, you want to play? I hear you. I don't know if you guys can hear her, but she is yapping away. So we're just gonna shade around these feathers here. Let's start to make this wing kind of have dimension and form. And maybe do that as by shadow. So you'll see that when I put this marker base down, it really was just a simple light color to tell us where things, what things are going to be. Oh, hello. Abby's here. She's going to tell us hello. Let me just zoom out so that way when you guys get... Okay, hello. Yeah. All right. Abby is about the same color as our cat here. She was just a drive-by snuggle. She's checking the mirror out. Okay, I think we're safe to zoom back in. Sorry about that brief interruption. Well, we haven't had a whole lot of votes on that other... So what I did is we were going to vote and then I forgot. So in the last video, in the comments section, we're taking votes. So if you guys want to vote on what the name of this flying cat is, then let me find that video for you guys. And we can... I can put it in the link. That's this one. So it's this one here. So in the comments of this video, number 7 in the Flying Cat series, you want to go ahead and look at the list of nominated names that we put forth in the chat, and pick the one that you like the most, and we will name him that. He's going to be named that on my YouTube channel and my Instagram. So that is a I figured we would just open it up in the comments since I was so silly and forgot. I don't know why I forgot. I think I just got distracted by showing you guys something else or something. I'm not really sure. Oh, hello, Abby. Welcome back. Okay. Hi. You gonna hang out with us? You gonna hang out right there? Yes, Abby is always a happy break. Yes, she is. Okay, well, you get what you want, because here she is again. Alright, hi. Let's just zoom out again. That way she's not... Okay, Abby, that's enough. Don't play with the lights now, alright? Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Come on. No, of course not. Hi. You're a good girl. Hmm? Everybody loves you. Mm-hmm. Including me. Alright, lay down. Lay down. Well, hello. Let's say hi. Let's just lift the camera up so she doesn't bump it. See, Abby is really good at rubbing her face against stuff. That's her favorite thing to do besides eat. Alright. Come here. You want to snuggle? No, you're too wild. Sometimes in the morning when she eats and she has a whole lot of energy, she's so restless. Okay, come here, come here, come here. Huh? Yeah, good girl. Alright. Snuggle time. Alright, we've got her in the arms now, so let's see if I can zoom in again. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's get this all centered. Happy girl. You a happy kitty now, huh? Okay. Alright, so let's see here. Sorry, now I'm multitasking. Got a kitty on the arm. There we go. Oh, hello. Alright, there we go. So we were in the wing here. So I'm just going through and adding shading to the feathers like before. Now if you're doing your flying cat, a different color, then you can just use the same techniques that I'm using if you'd like, and just apply it to the colors that you're choosing. So here, like say if he was blue, I would just choose a darker blue and use the same, place the shadows in the same spot. So don't feel like you've got to stick to my colors just to follow along. You can switch it up if you want. Alright, let's check out what the chat's saying, Abs. Let's see. Hi, Arita. Hello. Hi, Raquel. Welcome. Let's see. Hi, Shannon. Hello. I missed you coming in. Hello. Alright. Welcome, guys. If you have anything you want to tell me, just put it in all caps. I try to catch everything, but of course, it's tricky. Abby girl. Are you gonna help me read the chat room, Abby? No. No. Abby's so funny. She's a cutie. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but she does this little thing. Oh, you probably hear that. I don't know what that is. That was lovely. Sounds like they're taking off, going away. Street noise, sorry guys. Can't control it, it's a live show. Alright. Let's see. You just got your copy of this book, Arita. That's awesome. You're trying to catch up. Well, don't worry. There's no rush here. You can always watch back the videos. And as you guys can see, I've been really busy. I've hardly had any time to color, so I haven't even done the rest of the frame yet like I was supposed to. But I'll finish that when I can. There should be no stress in coloring, guys, so don't worry about it, Arita. You do it at your own pace. That's why I like doing these live streams, is because even though they're live and I get to chat with you guys, and that's really fun for me, and it's good because you can ask questions and stuff like that, at the same time, you know, they save it for us, so we don't ever have to stress about catching it right then and there. I really like that. Something different than like Instagram. Oh, okay, all right. Go ahead, check out the window. Abby decided my arm wasn't interesting enough. Okay. A little bit easier to color this way, though, I will admit. But that's all right. I'd color with Abby on my arm any day. I do. Yeah, I'm glad that you're learning a lot. That's what these are for. So Rita, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, you know, of the video that you're watching. I think you're the first person that's told me that you're actually following along. Oh, thank you, Kenny. I don't know about fabulous teacher, but I am really happy to be here with you guys. I don't know why, but I really do love sharing. Okay, so now all of these feathers are starting to pop off and kind of be more more dimensional. We're going to go even further with it. But let me just start here down at the base. Kind of give the whole wing more shadow here. Let's make sure, yeah, you guys can see it okay. So, I don't know how long this series is going to be, but you guys know I just take my time, and whenever it's finished, it's finished. That's how we go. So we're just gonna do our thing. Let's see here. Awesome, Kenny. Oh, I'd love to see your guys' versions. Oh, that would be so cool. If you ever follow along with one of my videos, don't be afraid to tag me or, you know, mention me or whatever. And that way it'll show up in my feed. Or even if it doesn't, you know, for whatever reason, it doesn't show up in my feed, just go ahead and give me a nudge. I love to feature people. Somebody followed along with my Crayola crayons lady. And they didn't use crayons, but they did a beautiful job, and I featured them in my stories, in my Instagram stories. So I just love doing that. I love seeing it, and it helps me to learn, you know, what I can improve on when I see other people's work. Like, oh, okay, maybe I didn't explain this well enough, or, you know, something, I don't know. So yeah, it's so much fun. I love it. So rewarding as a teacher to see people using what you're throwing out there. And that goes, I think, for anybody. Like if I ever, you know, look at somebody's work or whatever, I would mention them. But not to say that you have to, but I think it's nice. Okay, so what we're doing is, again, just adding shadows to all these little feathers. Now I'm going to kind of go over the whole thing. The base of this wing will be darker than the top part. So let's just give those wings, and you see I'm just going right on over what I did. No big deal. Just giving it a little bit more depth. And don't be afraid to use those shadows. Just because we colored in the marker doesn't mean we can't really darken it up. That marker was a great guide. And it also kind of takes away that white of the paper, so we don't have to worry about burnishing. You see, I'm not burnishing. And I may not burnish for a very good deal of this drawing, but, you know, we already have the page covered by, you know, that marker to get us started. So it makes it a lot easier on your hands. If you're like me and you get pain in your hands every once in a while, like I get carpal tunnel very easily, just because I'm always drawing and always coloring, and it really takes a toll after a while on your wrists and your joints. Then this is a really nice way of sort of like, you're still using pencil, but it's not as aggressive. You don't have to press down as hard for as long. So it's a really great way if you're suffering from pain. Another thing I do, if you guys want to actually like a tips on how to avoid pain kind of thing, I could do a video like that. But another thing I do is I wear compression gloves when I start to feel like my hands are tired, and they work really well too. So I can do a video like that though if you guys need it. Just let me know. Whatever you need. Alright, so these spotted feathers are really interesting because they don't have any dividing lines, but I think I'm just going to throw them in. So what I'm doing, excuse me, what I'm doing is extending that little point there up through and just adding a little bit more volume to them, just so it's not one big area. It doesn't have to be dark. It doesn't have to be with a pen. We can use the softness of our pencil to accomplish that. Alright, let's see what the chat's going on. Oh, hello, hello. Oh, thanks, Leslie. Yeah, I am a giver. I definitely love to share. Good, Arita. Coloring should help you slow down for sure. I think what's great about coloring is, at least for me, it's so relaxing. Like once I get into the flow of it, I really do like stop stressing out. It makes me so relaxed. So I love it. Oh, Kenny, that is an excellent, excellent question. So, I don't have a fancy storage thing. How I store my Tombow markers. I store them in a marker bag, but the key is that I store my... This is actually one of my own drawings. Here, let me zoom out for a second. So, I had this little pouch made up to put my markers in, because all of the other marker bags I had weren't big enough. I have another marker bag that's smaller, and it didn't fit my Tombows in it. So I had this bag made up. So what's great is you want to store your Tombow markers flat, not up and down. If you look at how they're stored in the store, they're usually stored up and down, but unfortunately that can reduce the flow of the marker. What I heard directly from the Tombow representative that I talked to is that you want to store the markers flat. So that's why I have this bag. They sit on my little shelf just like this, and when you open them up you see that they're stored horizontally, I guess you could say that. So these are all my markers. What I do is I have the little color chart right inside the bag, so that way I can just go ahead, if I just want to grab my markers, I can just go ahead and grab them. They're all in one little compact little unit, so they're ready to travel and go. And then I pull them out like this, and I just spread them out, and that's how I have a whole lot more in there, but I'll pull them out like that and color with them, and then I just rotate them and put them right back in the bag like that. So this might not be ideal for those of you who don't need a travel bag. But the main thing I want to express is when you're storing your Tombows, store them horizontally and not up and down. Don't put them in a jar or store them upright. They really need to be stored flat. So that is an excellent question. Thanks for asking that, Kenny. All right. Let's see. Does anybody else have any questions about the Tombows? Hi, B. Thank you. Let's see. I don't know. I'm missing half the chat. If you guys have a question for me, just put it in all caps and I will be sure to answer it. Let's make sure I'm not off camera. Hello. All right. So we're going to keep on going with this flying kitty guy. I don't remember exactly where I was, but let's just go right back here. And we're gonna... Oh yeah, it was over here, I think. Oh, over here. That's where it was. And we're gonna just keep shading along. These feathers here are sort of the same as the other ones, where they just have like this lumpy kind of end shape, and they don't have the main the divider lines, if you will, like these do. So I'm going to do the same thing. What we're going to do, let's start down here in the shadows. And this shadowy area is going to be quite dark, and that's okay. So you can see I'm just extending that line. And I'm not going into this bright highlight area very far, so we're just sort of leaving it like that. But it makes it a little more realistic and gives it some more definition there. Really easy though. Once you see me do it, it's like, oh, she's just putting a line there. No big deal, right? Hi, Sammy. Popping in, huh? That's great. Thanks for coming by. Oh, you're getting ready for... Are you going to the hospital? Is that what you're up to? Hi, Cat and Paste. Good morning. Arita, that is another great question. So as far as coloring goes, I didn't really learn from anybody, except I just was sort of self-taught. The person who I did watch a lot of videos when I first started was actually our sweet Miss Katrine, who has passed away. So I can credit her with how to get rid of my outlines. I started out with gel pen actually when I first started watching her channel. I quickly took off and kind of did my own thing. But the thing is I do have over 20 years of painting experience. Now, I had never used pencils all that often. I had done maybe about 10 color pencil pieces my entire life. So, you know, I wasn't really a pencil girl before. I was using paint, acrylic paint mostly, and oil paint before I had an allergic reaction to it. So, my knowledge of color mixing, of light and shadow, of form and how to draw, that was all something that I picked up before I started coloring. But knowing how to get rid of the outlines, which is something that I never really had to deal with in my own work, because I would just go ahead and start painting and not have like really dark outlines. I would maybe sketch in pencil first, but even then, a lot of the times with my painting, I would just go right at it and not even sketch. So drawing drawing like fine outlines was something I had to learn, and I just taught myself. So that's, you can see my first book is so different from my second book, and that's because that was me experimenting and learning and how to draw line art for coloring books. It's totally different than drawing your own doodles for painting. So yeah, I'm mostly self-taught. I do love watching other coloring channels, but mostly for the social aspect and just to support people. I do pick up things here and there though, and I do use them in my own work. So I'm not going to say I don't learn from other people here on YouTube, but for the most part I do just sort of explore. I love to experiment, so you know, I'll buy a couple of one kind of pencil and just go to town, or maybe, you know, with the Tombows, it was just one of the sets that I started with, and I found that I really liked them, and then I just started collecting them. So I encourage anybody, if they're interested in learning something, just go for it. I mean, you know, you might not be perfect at it right away. I didn't start teaching Tombows. You know, I got my Tombow set over a year ago. I didn't start teaching Tombows, like how to use them, until recently. So you don't need to, you know, share everything that you do all the time. You know, if there's something that you're learning and you mess something up, I have plenty of pages I don't share with the class, so to speak. Like I don't share everything I do online, and that, I think that's what makes it nice, is you have the freedom to do whatever you feel like. So if you don't want to share a mistake that you've made, you don't have to, and I think that kind of takes a lot of the pressure off. You don't have to worry so much about being perfect all the time. Nobody's perfect, so. Yeah, Shannon, I learned color and skin from Shannon. You're funny, cutie. Let's see. Hi, Lisa. Thank you. Yeah, Sammy. Even if we're just enjoying watching and getting inspired, that's awesome. So, um, yep. Yes, very true, Sammy. Awesome. But yeah, I think it's just fun to share what we know and see where that takes other people, if that makes sense. I see a lot of people, you know, maybe don't follow the tutorials exactly, but that's great, because, you know, that's what they're sort of meant for, is just to sort of, as a jumping off point, you know, take it and run with it. Make it your own, put your own spin on it. That's amazing. It's so much fun to watch. So what I'm doing here is I'm gently shading this back wing here. This is going to be in the light more than the other one. It's just catching the light more due to the angle of the light source. But we're still going to have some shading going on. So let's do the same thing we did here, where we're extending these feather tips up. And now there's no bump here, so I'm just going to imagine those lines. So you can put them wherever you feel comfy. And here's going to be quite dark, so I'm just going to not even worry about where the lines go there. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing with these. So I'm going to start here. And let's separate this wing, this front wing, from this back wing with just a little bit of shadow. Doesn't need much because it's going to be in the light, but just by separating it off with just a little bit of shadow, it's just giving it some definition and contrast there. Alright, so now we have this guy started, so and we have this one, let's do that one there. So let's guess, we've got an angle here and an angle here, so we're going to kind of want to slowly, gradually change the angle of those feathers to be about like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. His feathers could be ruffled. So don't stress too much if it's not exactly a perfect angle or anything. There's no perfect. He's about to take off, it looks like. Oh, I think I'm missing chat. Let me just go ahead and check that out. Yeah, I love the spots on his wings too, Lisa. Hi, Nick and Tina. Hello, welcome. Yeah, Jody, the first step is the start. And it's funny because sometimes all you need is a little momentum to get you going, and then you're off. And I actually have something to show you guys. I'm almost done. I haven't been coloring a whole lot on my own time. I have a commission I'm working on, and I've also just been so busy with work. Unfortunately, it's the holiday season, so a lot of people are I'm a web developer, so a lot of people are trying to use up their budget for the year, I suppose. This happens almost every single year at the end of the year where I just get slammed. I am so busy. So I just really haven't had a whole lot of time. And with not feeling super great, it's just been a tough year for me to get a whole lot of coloring done. But if you guys here, I'll take a little break really quick and show you. If you guys remember the steampunk color along, I'll do this while Sammy's here since she will probably want to see this. I've been working on Grazia Salvo's page. So this is her drawing from the steampunk color along event, the steampunk freakout. So she's a steampunk angel with a heart of gold. I started working on the background last night, so she's coming along. I only have a couple more details to do, and then I'll probably be posting this on Instagram. I was just really having fun with it last night. Oh, thanks, Kenny. I appreciate the thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I thought you might want to see that, Sammy. Alright, so I already sent it, you know, a DM to Grazia to show her, so, but I'll post that on Insta when I'm done. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that page. So, alright, back to our flying kitty. So you guys, if you haven't voted on the name is in the last video, the vote rather, is in the comments section of the last video that I did. We had a lot of really awesome names put forth by the chat last time. And the video link, you can go there and check it out. I listed the options in the comments. You can go ahead and vote for the name of this flying kitty. Whatever his name is, and we will, and that's the name I'll use when I post it on Instagram and so forth. So oh, thanks guys, I'm glad you like it. Yay. Yeah, I'm having fun. I wish I had more time to color, but it's just been hectic. And, you know, my commissions take priority. So last night, it was way too dark to actually do color work. So that's when I did the background. It's just a bunch of grays. So I was like, okay, well, I can do this because it was so dark. The light wasn't any good. I was like, I shouldn't be working on my commission where, like, it really matters that it's right. But I still felt like coloring. So I was like, all right, I'll do some of that page that I've been working on. So it's been a long work in progress though. I don't remember when I started it. I think I started it like a couple days after the event. So sometimes these pages just take a long time. And And that's okay. If you're like me and you're slow and it takes you a while, that's all right. Because this is a hobby for us to enjoy and relax, so we shouldn't be stressed out about how long things take. Okay, so you can see that the flying cat now is starting to get some dimension in his wings. Let's take this color all the way through the rest of his body and give more dimension. So I'm going to go behind this elbowy area right here. That's a technical term, elbowy. And I'm going to leave that little tuft of hair alone. We already gave it some shading in the last video. So for right now, I'm just going to leave it be for a minute. But let's go down his paw, or leg, whatever. His forearm? I mean, this, I'm using like human terms on this cat. I don't know what this is actually called for a cat, but... Oh, you're doing blue hair. Yeah, Leslie. Okay, hold on. For you mean for this one? Oh, we're going down a rabbit trail. Hold on. Let me zoom out and I'll get you my color chart thingy. Hold on. So, Leslie, the colors I used for her hair are, I used polychromos. So I used polychromos 157, 151, and 120. And these are all the colors I used for this. I've been trying to keep track by just doing little swatch charts like this, so that way it's a little bit easier to list it later when because you guys know on Instagram I list all of my colors, so that way people can follow it. So yeah, those are the colors I used for her hair. The hair's not quite done yet, but yeah, that's what I've got so far. I hope that helps. I'm sorry for the glare. Alright, I don't know. I use luminance on the background and it's got a little bit of a glare on it, but yeah, I love the steampunk event too. It was so much fun. Awesome, Sammy. Thank you for voting. Yeah, maybe sometime we should do another event like that, Sammy. Not anytime soon. I know that you're going through a lot right now. But maybe when you're feeling a little better. Okay, let's zoom back in. And I feel like, no. I feel like I lost some light here. Let's just bump up the... It is a gray, gloomy day outside, so lighting is a challenge. Alright, let's go back in and work more on this tiger. Or not tiger, I keep saying tiger, but it's not a tiger because he's got wings. Okay. Hi Michelle, welcome. I didn't see you sneak in, and hi Cassandra. Oh yeah, of course I share. Why not? I'm happy to help out. Okay, so we're gonna go behind this leg here a little bit, near on his tummy there. And again, we're just creating contrast and volume. So I do this slowly by building up layers. And I don't have a reference or anything. I'm just kind of going off of what I know from having my own kitty cat. Now, she's not this large, obviously, nor does she have wings. So this might not be perfect, but that's okay. We're just having fun. Have you sitting by the window now watching the, I guess, the rain outside. It's like half rain, half snow, so it's really kind of gross. I'm glad I don't need to leave the house today. Yeah, it's, let's see, already thinking for Easter. Oh, Easter! That would be so much fun! Yeah! Yes, I'm in! Sign me up, Sammy! Oh, that'll be fun. Yay! I'm excited. You didn't hear it here though, guys. This is top secret stuff, okay? Alright. So let's do, yep, we're gonna do back here. The kitty bum needs a little shading, you know. This is an adult coloring channel. Oh my goodness. So we're just creating more volume. And you can see I'm just following the areas that I already put down in the previous video. We're just darkening them up, making them even more contrasty. More darks. And you can see I'm leaving the light areas pretty much well alone. We may come in there later with some lighter colors to give it some texture. But for the most part, the marker was the lightest value that we need. So we don't need to do too much to that area. It really does speed things up quite a lot. Let's do some of this area down here. And this leg is going to have a lot of shadow on it. So let's start working on that there. His body is blocking pretty much all the light on this leg. So that's why we filled it in with pencil pretty much entirely, except for this little area on his paw might get a little light. But now it's just a matter of finding where the darkest shadows are going to go. So let's do that now. And you can see we really haven't gone that far with the background either. We'll go over the tree trunk more and stuff like that. So we have a ways to go yet, I think, on this page, but we'll get there. Okay, so his tail is, I pretty much left that alone, so let's work a little bit. Let's see. I don't see any questions. Yep, if you guys have any questions for me, just don't forget to put them in all caps. I'm happy to help you guys out. Okay. Yeah, he's in camera. So let's work a little on this tail. We've got this little fuzz back here. So we'll do that. And to give the tail some volume, we're going to go just around the edge here. Give a little more shadow. We did this already with the first color, but let's darken that up now. So down here it's going to be a little darker because there's less light getting there. There's a lot of other things that kind of in the way. It's more ambient light. So that's actually right there is where I feel like it would be the darkest. So we probably will come in there with even darker colors on the very edge. Okay, this tail, this area is going to be tricky. So I'm actually going to jump back and use one of my markers, I think. Let's see if I can remember which one, which ones we used. Oh yeah, Sammy's anniversary. Yes, I remember that on your Insta. Let's see. Yep, let's use this one. This is the color that we used before. So this is not a new Tombow marker color. Let me zoom in even more because this is a really tight little spot. Let's see how far we can zoom in. Oh yeah, that's much more zoomed in. Hello. Okay, so we have this area here. Okay. Oh, thank you, Sammy. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put some marker. Now you can go over Prismas with this, however, you'll need to clean the tip after. So I've learned that the Tombow markers actually dissolve the Prismacolor and blend it. It's kind of amazing, actually. So you see how we put a little bit of Prisma down? And now I'm just sort of spreading that around. Fairly amazing. Now it will get the tip dirty, so what I do to clean it, I just scribble on a piece of paper and it takes off the wax. I wouldn't recommend doing this on markers that have reusable nibs like Copics because it will kind of, over time, if you do this a lot, it will damage them. But Tombows are a one and done kind of deal. So once you use up the marker, you can't refill it. So that's one downside, but it also means that you don't have to be so concerned about the tip of the marker as much. So what I do is I'm just sure to clean it off after I'm done using it. Another beautiful thing about the Tombows is that the more you put the color down, the darker it gets. So it's a watercolor marker or a water-based marker. That's different than the Copics. You can layer and layer and layer a Copic and it's just going to stay the same color. But with the Tombows, it darkens up over time. So that's what that property of this particular kind of marker is what I'm using to my benefit now to kind of just give some lights and darks. I find that the pencil is a little too tight here, but the small brush tip of these Tombows works beautifully. So I'm barely putting any pressure and just using the brush tip. You can also use the smaller nib end of the marker as well. I just prefer the brush tip myself, but there's no right or wrong. So I hope you guys can see what's happening here. Yeah. Yep, and I don't use the Tombow blender marker, Arita, for blending the Tombows, because that's really sort of a pointless task. They don't really blend. But I use that blender marker as a blender for my Prismas, and it works amazing. That's what I did on this page here. I use oh, I'm really zoomed in. I'm sorry. I use the Tombow blender marker as a blender for my Prismas on this page. So you can really see it down here where I blended a whole lot. It's kind of a little swirly still just because I didn't do a great job. But you can see it like all throughout this whole picture. I use that blender marker. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah. Yay! Oh, watercolor pencils. That's another great idea, Shannon. Awesome. We're getting all kinds of ideas here. Hold on, let me take a drink. All right. Water to the rescue. I've seen Arita around, Cassandra. I don't know if she's been in this channel or in other channels. I'm not sure. Hi, Joey. Oh, I missed you coming in. Hello, welcome. All right. So let's get back to that tail. B asks, when using the blender marker, does it bleed the color to the back side of the page? No! That's what's amazing about these Tombows. Here, let me zoom out. There is no bleeding. No bleeding. This was right here that we were doing that. That's the main reason I love using Tombows in coloring books like this, where there's two sides to the page. The Copics would go right through and you'd be crying about the other side. Here, I have not experienced bleeding with these markers. No matter how many layers I put down, you see I was saturating the page with a lot of layers. You know, I guess on thinner paper, this is high quality paper, so I'm thinking on thinner paper it might ghost a little bit. But let's see, actually, let's do a test. This is just plain old copy paper, so you see it didn't go through on a base layer. Let's see how, let's get a dark marker. Okay, here we go, experiment time. Hold on, let me move this out of the way. I'm going to zoom in. Let's test this out. This is regular copy paper, 20-pound copy paper. I'm going to grab my black. That's going to be the most saturated pigmented marker. Let's see if we can make this go through. So here's a few layers. You can see it kind of ghosts a little bit. Let's just do one layer. So one layer, yeah, a little ghosty. Let's see if we can get it to go through. This is wet now. I don't know if you guys can see this, but the marker is wet on the paper. It's barely going through. Can you guys see that? So this is on regular copy paper. Now let me get drawing paper. This is a little bit nicer stuff. Let me just get a scrap. Okay. This is drawing paper, so. Okay. This is going to be the darkest color that we use, the black, right? So 2 layers. Yes, so it's a little ghosty. But how many times do you use the black marker? Okay, let's try and make it go through. Yeah, it's not going to. I think I could sit here all day. It's not going to go through. So you can see, now let me just compare that to a Copic. I don't have a black Copic marker, but let me just grab a dark color. Let's see what we have. Oh, these are the Blick illustration markers. I do have a black with these. Let's try that. So this is a alcohol-based marker. It's not the Copics, but okay, let's try on copy paper. You guys know what's going to happen here. So let's do 1 layer. It's already coming through. 2 layers. We got more coming through. And I know this is already, it's through. So there's the difference there. And let's do it on this drawing paper. This is more like a coloring book paper. So it's ghosting a lot more. And let's make it go through. And this is about what you would do to blend. Yeah, so it's definitely coming through. Now if I kept going and blending and all that, it would definitely go through. Yeah, there you go. So that's the difference there. You can really see this I could hide very easily, and this is pretty much done. So I hope that answers your question. I just, you know, I'm not sponsored by Tombow. I bought all of my markers myself or was gifted by my boyfriend. I am in no way benefiting from promoting these markers. I just love them so much. They are so much fun. So yeah, let's see. Wet the back side where the black is, or use a light color. Wet the of the Tombows, Raquel. On this paper, I'm not sure what you want me to do there. I'm just waiting for an answer. Hi, Andrea. I had it come through when I colored the other page. Oh, so you mean, aha, yep, okay. I don't know why it hasn't done that for me with the, yeah, that's funny. Because I don't, I don't have it ghosting. Well, maybe, yeah, maybe, I don't know. That's on, this is on copy paper here. What cut, and let's see, this is on more like, this is on drawing paper. Yeah, so it doesn't come through on the drawing paper. You see that? I don't know if I'm in camera. Yeah. So it doesn't come through on the drawing paper, which is more like a coloring book. But it does come through on the copy paper. Is the book you're working in thin paper? I think the paper has a lot to do with whether or not it comes through. But this paper here is more like this book is high quality paper, guys. So I don't recommend doing it on like cheap coloring book paper. You watercolored the back page, only dark pigments, yeah. So that makes sense. When you use water, water will pull the pigment through the paper. But I don't really recommend watercoloring on the back of a Tombow page because it is watercolor. So basically what you're doing there is you are pulling the pigment through the paper. I can understand that working, that happening there. Yeah. But most of the time I don't do that, so I haven't experienced that problem. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I guess if you're planning on using watercolor on the back of the page, like on the other page, then I wouldn't use any kind of marker on the other side, just because they are going to come through. Water media tends to pull pigment through to the other side on everything, even watercolor paper. So yeah, that's pretty much a tough situation there. Good morning, Kathy. Hello. Oh, Hannah Carlson. Yeah, when you're using water, so guys, the thing about water is that when it's, so these are markers, they don't saturate through the paper unless you like put a ton of layers down. But when you're using water, that saturates those fibers in that paper and spreads through to the other side. So even on really high quality, like here for example, let me just really quick, I'll zoom out again. We're going down some rabbit trails today, but this is a good discussion, I think. So this, go back here. So this page here, I did this on heavy duty Bristol, but you can see that the water, even though I used a paper that was meant for mixed media, it did buckle the paper. You see that? Because the water saturates those fibers and goes into the fiber and spreads. And so what happens is that the page buckles because those cotton and paper pulp fibers expand when they get wet. And then as they retract, they're a different size than the other dry bits of the paper. So I'm going to have to flatten this later. So even on really high, I mean, this didn't come through. It's meant for watercolor, but even paper that's like Hannah Carlson's books and Tomislav Tomic's books are not meant for water media. But even paper that is meant for water media will still buckle the paper, unless you're painting on like really, really, really thick watercolor paper, and even then I think sometimes it still does buckle. So the lesson here is that water is very, very destructive to paper. It really can't handle a whole lot of wetness in a book. So if you're gonna watercolor in a book, try to use as least amount of water as possible, just to prevent, you know, either bleed through or you know, like buckling and all sorts of fun stuff like pilling. That happens a lot too. Oh my. And I've done that too, Raquel, where I've destroyed pages because I thought I could put more water on them than I could. Have I showed you guys the acrylic page that I did? Here, wait. I'll show you a mess up just to make you feel better, Raquel. Because nobody's perfect. Oh, Lost Ocean, there are a few. So, you guys, Lost Ocean was the first coloring book I ever got. It was a gift to my sister, and I am an acrylic painter, so I thought it would be amazing to put down a base of acrylic paint. And there's not much left of this drawing, but a little bit here on the binding where I didn't get much paint on it, and maybe you can see a little ghosty line art right there. I experiment all the time in my books, and I make a lot of mistakes. I was disappointed because I really wanted to paint this page, and it didn't come out. You can see here though, even though I was very, very careful, it seeped through on the other side. So using water media in your coloring books is going to come through on the other side, no matter how careful you are. Came through on, oh yeah, that's me trying a different experiment that didn't work. But you can see here it came through, and it even came through, even though I put a page down, it even came through my barrier page and onto this spot. So if you're going to use water media, be prepared to ruin the back side of that page. Yeah. Whoops. That's okay. If I want to color that page, I'll just get another copy of the book. Arita, I do have watercolor ground, and I have tried it. However, I find that it's still going to come through. The watercolor ground is not a barrier. It's just a page conditioner, basically. So basically, if you're going to use watercolor or acrylic or any water media, markers I consider still a dry media, because even though you're getting the page a little bit wet, you're not using water. Yeah, if you're using any kind of water media, just be prepared to ruin the other side. So, and if you want to do the other side, you know, you can buy a second copy of the book. I buy multiple copies of books just for that reason. And that's why, even though it made my book so much more expensive, that's why I made my book single-sided. It's just because I know you guys like using every kind of media in this under the sun, and I was like, I'm just going to make it single-sided, and it made it so much more expensive to print, but I think it's totally worth it because it really allows a lot more freedom. So if it's not a single-sided book and you want to use water media, you know, there's a couple options that you can do, but yeah. Be prepared. You're going to mess up the other side. Okay, so that's looking a little bit better. I'm going to come through and do something else to that later, but for right now, I'm just going to leave that as it is. So I'm going to clean off the edge of this just by scribbling on a clean piece of paper until I see that there's no more of that Prismacolor wax on the end. So you want to do that before you go ahead and store it, otherwise it'll be hard to work with later. Okay, back to pencils, I think. Let's go back to our 945 Sienna Brown, which is what we were using at the start. And let's go ahead, oh, I've got glare on him. Let's see here, there we go. A little bit better. Let's see here. I hope that answers everybody's questions. At least you can draw something over it, yeah. Raquel. Well, luckily the rest of the book, yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen it in a while. Here, I'll show you. We're rabbit trailing today, I'm sorry. The rest of this book isn't ruined. So you can see I did this page. These are all for my Instagram. So I did this page, and look at how many stickles. Can you guys see? Is it too blown out? I don't know if you guys can see how many stickles are on this page, but it is so shiny. All around it. I had put all these stickles right all around the edge. So, yeah, I like doing these thank you pages on Instagram. I haven't done one in a long time. I should do another one. I did this one here. And I love Joanna's books for it because she just has these circle frames, which are really cool. And what else did I do in this book? I did, oh yeah, that's a work in progress, which I never finished. I have a lot of those. Did another page in here, I think. Oh, you know what? I removed it. Yes, I did. I think it was, yeah, so it was actually a page. Yeah, here's the line where I removed it. You see that little flap there? I removed it because I thought it might get damaged, so I took it out. And I think I did another page in here. So it's not, the whole book isn't ruined, which is nice. Yeah, I think that's it. I thought I did another one though. Oh, you know, I have another copy of this book. Maybe it's in there. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so like I said, I have multiple copies of books. And I just, if I damage a book, I'm not afraid of it. You know, that's part of the process. So I make a lot of mistakes. I just don't post them because I don't feel like I need to, you know. You post what you like to share, and you can keep the rest private. That's totally fine. Oh my goodness. There's no rule saying you have to share everything you do. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, Arita, I can't color that page. It's just a big blue page now, and that's fine. But that's okay. You know, I'm not afraid of making mistakes because I know that mistakes are how you learn. Later on I did end up using acrylics in my books. I just used a different technique in order to do that. So even though I messed up that page, I did learn so much from it that it wasn't a wasted effort. And, you know, I mean, I wouldn't do it on like a really expensive book, you know, like I wouldn't have done that on my copy of Serene, for example. But Lost Ocean is a book that I am happy to buy. Actually, you know what? I'm happy to buy multiple copies of Serene too, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But, you know, I think that as colorists, we can just, you know, we can buy another copy of the book. So it's not like we have to be perfect on the first go. I don't know. It's just, I like messing up. I know that it's weird to say that, but I like making mistakes and experimenting because at the end of the day, I can't take myself too seriously if I'm learning something new. I have a lot of fun playing with materials and just figuring things out on my own. Because I feel like, you know, if you explore and learn new things and you're growing, then making mistakes is part of that process. And as soon as I sort of recognize that and let go of trying to be perfect all the time, that's when the fun starts for me. You know, it's like a big experiment. And I don't know why I find that a lot of fun, but yeah, let go of being perfect. You don't have to be perfect. We are all human, so we're going to make mistakes, so you might as well embrace it, right? All right. The kitty cat's starting to come together. Let's work on his face a little bit. So you see, for now I've been avoiding the gray areas. We're going to come back in with different colors for that. Woo. Yeah, you can copy. Some books have copyright problems with that, but you know, some artists are okay with that. It depends on the individual illustrator. So I'm not going to say as a blanket that that's okay. But if you're doing it for personal use in general and not distributing it or giving it away to your friends or anything like that, usually it's okay. My book, for example, I do give permission for personal use to copy it. But, you know, some artists don't like that, so I don't want to say across the board that's okay. It all depends on the individual artist and the publisher. But in general, I figure if I love a book enough that I want another copy of it, then I can just go ahead and buy another copy because I'm supporting the artist who created the book. So I have no problem. I have multiple copies of Villain Son, which people consider an expensive book. I have multiple copies of here, let me show you guys my collection. Actually, I have quite a lot of Tomislav books. He only put out 2, but I have a bunch. Let's see, here's my Zemla, my main Zemla. I think I have one down here. Oh no, I moved it. Okay, it's in here. Yeah. You could say I'm a fan. Even though Tomislav has only put out 2 books, I have one that I haven't even opened of Villain Son. I have 2 Zemlas, which I worked in, and I have a signed copy, which I refuse to even open out of the plastic. So you can just see, I am not afraid of buying multiple copies of books, even if they're expensive. If I love them, I don't know if this is going to go out of print. So I just, yeah. So I like supporting the artists. Tomislav is an amazing, very shy illustrator. He doesn't come on social media, but he's a very nice dude. And so I like giving him my money. And I don't see anything wrong with that. You know. Thank you, Kenny. Some people would say that I'm crazy. I don't care. And I don't do that with every book, you know, but you guys know I'm a fan of his work. So I figure now I'm like stocked for life. I have, you know, if I ever want to do a page again, I can do that. I don't need to copy them or anything. I can experiment right in the book. So I have what I call my main copy where I do most of my work, and then, you know, if I mess up or if I want to do something else, I go to my my secondary copy. Take care, Rita. All right. I scared her off, guys. Yeah, if they're just for you, B, you should be fine. But I don't want to speak on behalf of other illustrators. I could get in trouble for that. So I'm just going to say I would just check and make sure you're okay doing that before you do it. But like if you buy a PDF, it's assumed that you can print as many times as you like, you know, for yourself, for personal use. So, but yeah, I don't know. I like supporting the artists that I love because I'm hoping that they'll come out with, like, I hope Tomislav will come out with another book. So I figure if all the books of his sell, then he'll be like, oh, maybe I should make another one. Yeah, exactly, Michelle. I don't buy 2 of every book. I will admit there's some books I only have 1 copy of, but my favorites I tend to buy multiples of. I don't speak with him regularly, Kathy. He is a very reclusive artist who doesn't really, he's sort of shy. So I don't like to bother him, but you know, I'm just hoping that if we all support him and buy his work, that he'll see that he should put another one out. So, and I encourage you, if you love an artist, I encourage you to do that, to buy their work and support them. Because there's no better way of showing them that you love them than by helping them pay their bills. So, yeah, so we've only used this one color the whole time for my Prismacolor. So let's swap to, let's see, what color? I'm just looking here. Okay, so I'm going to swap to 908. And I know that we're almost done for today's session, but I just want to kind of throw in some dark colors on the white parts of the fur. Now we've already gone through and done some gray, but now what I'm looking at is there's a whole lot of green in the environment around this cat. So white is a very reflective color. It reflects the colors around it. So I'm going to use this dark green and go in and let's give some depth to the white areas with this green. And this is going to pull the background into the kitty and make him really seem like he's part of the environment. Let's see, I think there's chat going on. Sorry, let me look. Oh, okay, there is chat. Oh, why do they go in the trash? Oh, you shouldn't do that. Just because they're a copy doesn't mean you gotta throw them away. If they're for your own personal use, I think you're just fine. But I just don't want to speak for other artists. That's why I say that. Aww. Yeah, that's fine, but you don't need to throw them away. Hi, Nana Mo. Welcome. Oh, you guys, if you haven't seen it, Nana Mo did an amazing version of my Icebringer page on Instagram. You gotta go check her out. It's so cool. It's so cosmic. I love it. So I'm using this green even in the orangey spots of the fur. We're going to tie it all together now and make him really seem like part of the environment. And I'm by nowhere near done, but by doing this early, we're really establishing the undertones of the colors. So we're going to do that over here. And you can see I'm just bringing that green right on up into the brown. gonna do a couple little so his paws have this white coloring. So just in the creases, I'm just going to put this dark green, and I'm going to put it right back here. Let's put this all the way up his leg. And so it's subtle because the color is so dark, but it really will kind of tie the two, the background and the foreground, together. So again, I'm just bringing it all the way up, and like that. Oh, hello, Bo. Yeah, I'm an early bird. Welcome. Yeah, I think I'm missing a whole bunch of chat. Sorry, guys. If you have something for me, don't forget to put it in all caps so I see it. See, I'm going to actually put this dark green right back here a little bit. Alright, and we're going to put it right here. Now we've got this white fur. And we already have the gray down, but now I'm just adding this green in just the darkest spots. I think it just gives it a little more character, a little bit more environmental context. Behind his ankle bone here a little bit. So you see I'm just jumping around a little, trying to find where it would go. Now the key is to leave a lot of the area, that gray that we put down. It still makes it feel white, but we're just putting this in just the darkest, oops, I'm off camera, in just the darkest spots. There we go. So this little tuft right here can get a little bit. And I'm leaving a lot of his face alone right now because we need to sharpen our pencils for that. Or maybe even do some marker work, I think. Just a little bit of green right in his face like that. And he's so cute. He's trying to be all fierce. Okay. Alright. So I hope that kind of shows you where we're going with this. Let's zoom out here. See where we're at. So here's where we got so far today. It's not done yet, of course, but we got some progress done. Let's see. Thank you, Michelle. All right, have a great day. All right, does anybody have any questions before we wrap this up today? All right, so yeah, we only used a couple of things. We used the 991 marker from Tombow. I'm not even sure if I called that out, but yeah, it was 991. And we also used 945 and 908 from the Prismacolor. So those were the 3 colors we used today. And I'll leave those out so I can add them to the list. Oh, thank you, Bo. No, it's not done yet. We're going to keep going on this. I'll show you guys how I take it all the way to the end. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me and chatting. I love your questions. They really do help other people learn as well. So I just love that you guys ask them. Thank you so much. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap this up. I will see you again next week. Hopefully, I was trying to stream last week, but I just did not have the time. So hopefully this week I'll be able to get another impromptu in. But if I don't, I will see you guys around. And I will definitely be here next Tuesday to do another live stream on this page. All right, have a wonderful day. You too, Kathy. All right, let me do a shout out for everybody who's still here. We've got Starbuck, Cat and Paste, Kathy. We've got Selena and Kenny, Leslie, Nanamo. Who else? Shannon is here, and Bo is here, and Jody. Awesome, guys. All right, well, I hope you have a wonderful, magical time coloring.